Hey everyone, it's me, Buster Green. So last night the Gundam Breaker 4 beta server test happened and I got to try it and I'm still tired because I didn't sleep enough. So I'm really excited about this game because the Gundam Breaker series has been a long-running staple of games in Japan, and previously these games have never come to the US, with the sole exception of New Gundam Breaker, which was the absolute worst possible one, and Gundam Breaker Mobile, which was a shortly lived phone game that is now long dead and a memory. So with Gundam Breaker 4, this is the first time a good main series Gundam Breaker game will ever be released in the US, and I'm pretty hyped for that. Okay, so last night I did a 2.5 hour live stream playing with my friends and figuring out what's what about this new game. If you want to watch that live stream, that's basically the same information I'm about to give you, but it's a lot more casual, a little bit more exciting, but way longer. Otherwise, in this video, I'm just going to boil down my impressions and tell you what's what as quick as possible. So before actually getting online and playing the game, there was a very tedious tutorial hosted by a fictional SD Gundam player named Kai with big Midwestern Chuck Keef energy. I almost got stuck in this tutorial because I had a really hard time executing the backdraft maneuver, which the game said was just press B in the air, but actually it was more like double tap B in the air. So anyway, I'm not sure if this is going to carry over into the full game, but one thing that sort of amused me was how self-aware the game was, and something that I haven't really seen in a Gundam Breaker game before. Like, this Kai guy told me that we're just playing a video game on a video game system, and the video game is called Gundam Breaker 4, and that was kind of refreshing to hear when in previous games the franchise have gone way out of their way to, like, make the situation a bigger thing than it really is. They're like, oh my god, this is a virtual reality metaverse experience. Oh my god, everyone plays this inside, like, a cockpit pod. Oh my god, this is the most popular game in the world, and you have to go to a Gunpla store, and you have to scan your Gunpla. And several high schools and colleges have been set up just to play it. And you're not playing it on the Nintendo Switch, you're playing it on a third-party public domain device that just sort of resembles a Nintendo Switch. Oh my god! But nah, this is just like straight up like you're playing Gundam Breaker 4 on a video game system. Now, the game lobby is pretty much the same cornball shit you had in Gundam Breaker 3, except now everything is run by bear guys, which is even more cornball. One major difference I did notice is that they now let you play as your Gunpla in the lobby. Now, this is a big change. I'm not sure how I feel about this at first, because in the previous games, you played as like a human pilot running around like an in-game lobby, and then like your Gundam was gigantic, and usually that was it. The human character had no other function in the game, so on the one hand, maybe cutting out the human character makes sense because they're saving on game assets and resources, but it also kind of makes me feel less immersed in the game because I kind of like related to that human character, especially in the lobby. But immediately playing as my custom Gunpla also makes me feel more immersed and makes me feel like more ownership of the Gunpla because now that's my whole identity. So that's kind of cool. The game's UI is a little half-assed, but since this was a demo, I'm assuming it's unfinished. For the server demo, the only modes that were working were a scenario mode and bounty hunting mode. There was also a story mode, but the story mode was blocked off. So bounty hunting mode is something I feel like I should bring up. Bounty hunting mode is something I haven't seen in a decade because it's been gone from the franchise since Gundam Breaker 3. This is a mode where you can hunt other characters' Gundams to build and steal their parts and quickly earn money. Now, this mode wasn't working normally the first time I tried it. The first time I tried it, it just gave me a random selection of in-game Gundams. But then when I tried it like an hour later, it had finally populated with other characters' Gundams. So, anyway, the game's multiplayer is pretty weird. Like, the new Gundam Breaker, they keep insisting on 3-player Gundam teams, but now the situation appears to be that every 24 players can lurk in a mini-server and interact with each other. So, once again, the UI here is a little clunky and it takes some effort to join other characters on missions. I really feel like the UI needs to be sped up. I feel like you should be able to like walk over to your friend, see they're hosting a mission and join their mission. I don't know why it's optimized for 24 people. That seems useless. I mean, don't get me wrong, playing on a 24-player server feels a little bit exciting and a little bit lively, and it's nice seeing all the other characters playing around. But if you're only going to be playing battles with like 3 people at a time, why is that a thing? Like, I kind of get it with like a bigger game, like with like Gundam Battle Operation, where like the battles are like 12 on 12 or like 6 on 6, but I don't get it for this one. Like, I don't know what's up with that. Like, I wonder if they're holding back a bigger multiplayer mode for the whole game, but I kind of doubt it because I feel like that's something they would have been proud of and they would have announced by now. Honestly, the large lobby server just kind of doesn't make sense to me if the game is only a 3-player multiplayer game. Like, I'm assuming that there's probably a 6-player every man for himself battle mode, but that's hidden away somewhere, and either way, I would hope that you wouldn't need to recruit 6 people to play battle mode, although that was the case in New Gundam Breaker, and that's another reason why the game sucked. The next major thing I suppose is worth talking about is the revision to the game's EX skills. This is honestly probably one of the biggest and most important thing they changed. So to explain the EX skill system, back in the old days of Gundam Breaker 1 through 3, you would have certain parts, and certain parts would have EX skills tied to them. EX skills are just critical special attacks that are like nestled and buried inside the part. Like for example, if you want to do the Shining Gundam's Shining Finger, then you need the Shining Gundam's right arm. If you had the right arm, you could do the attack, and even if you were building a Shining Gundam, if you didn't have the right arm, you couldn't do that attack. Now, I'm a little rusty on this, but I believe in the old Gundam Breaker games, there were also parts that would be equipped with like finishing moves, like the Shining Finger Sword or Wing Zero's Lighthouse Cannon Roll. If I recall correctly, you were allowed to equip 4 normal EX skills and 1 finishing attack. And so anyway, this was the system for the first 3 Gundam Breaker games, but then New Gundam Breaker came and completely ruined the system. New Gundam Breaker threw it out with the bathwater, and another thing I need to quickly explain was that the original Gundam Breaker games had builder's parts. Like for example, if you put extra guns and missiles and whatever on your Gundam, then you could actively use EX skills to activate those extra parts and just create like a hilarious beam spam unit. New Gundam Breaker, however, destroyed the fun of the system by taking that away and just making the builder's parts aesthetic only, which was not fun. Like, what's the point of putting 1,000 guns on your Gundam if they don't actually shoot anything? Anyway, Gundam Breaker 4 has finally revised and fixed the system and has gone back to the system from Gundam Breaker 3, where the builder's parts actually work to trigger EX skills. However, it's not the exact same system from Gundam Breaker 3, they have changed it a little bit. Now, the biggest change I can see is that, first of all, there are normal EX skills, and now you can carry 8 of them instead of 4 of them. And this is awesome because, once again, if you did make a Gundam with 1,000 guns, now you can fire 8 of those guns. However, the finishing system has been completely overhauled and revised and replaced with an OP move system. Does that seriously just stand for overpowered move system? Anyway, so it looks like you can store your overpowered moves on the L button to access them. And I was only able to collect 2 of these in the demo, but it seems like you can hold up to 4 of them. So by default, it looks like every Gundam has like a healing module, and I unlocked the new Gundam's fin funnels, which works somewhat inconsistently, but did work as both fin funnels and the fin funnel shield. Now, probably the last thing I can praise about this game is the painting and diorama modes. These seem to be mostly the same old as from every previous Gundam Breaker game, but the painting system does seem like it's taken all the improvements that were added to it in Gundam Breaker Mobile, including the very important swatch system that looks like it's exactly the same as it was in Gundam Breaker Mobile. However, I like that the games have seemingly increased the available level of weathering available, because in the previous games I couldn't make my Gundam look super crazy rusty, and now I can because they seem to have like pushed that like to another level. So I'm really excited about that. Now, I didn't check out if I could make a full chrome paint job Gundam, but you could in the old games, so I'm assuming it's there. Like, so far as usual, the custom features in Gundam Breaker games are kind of the bread and butter, and I'm really looking forward to creating some crazy stuff myself, as well as seeing what crazy stuff everyone else comes up with. I didn't see too many differences overall to the game's battle system. The only thing that threw me off is the game's enemies seem to be a lot tougher, but I'm not sure if that was because it was optimized for multiplayer, and it was like counting on me having a full team of players, or maybe my suit was just extremely underpowered because I was just using like base demo parts and I really didn't get a ton of upgrades while I was playing the demo. It also seems like every stage gives you 3 lives and you can die without wasting ones if someone's in your team and revives you in under 30 seconds. So I'm looking forward to some really crazy teamwork in these missions. The other thing I'll say is that like when I fought the boss, Big Gundam, I like completely destroyed his legs, and then he was only vulnerable on the top of his head, so I guess you can like blow up parts like that, but that seems to be like a boss function. Alright, I guess that's everything I noticed last night when I was playing the demo, but let me know if you guys noticed anything I didn't, and if you didn't play the demo last night, I'm pretty sure you'll have another chance tonight, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's it. So there's like 4 demo windows to play the demo if you want to try it yourself. Alright, thanks everyone. I'll talk to you later. Good night.